What's up, you fucking sinners, and welcome to a special bonus episode of Terror Real.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Today I'll be covering one of the most gruesome and the most factual, 100% true story found footage horror movie ever made. That's right, I'm talking about Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ. While this footage was originally recorded over 2,000 years ago, it was recently remastered and stuff. You can tell it's old by everyone speaking Aramaic, Hebrew, and Latin. You know, dead languages. I'm just glad that Mel Gibson put his whole life on hold to digitally remaster this found footage of the last 24 hours of some guy named Jesus' life to give us one of the most gruesome found footage movies ever. Let's get on with the bloodshed. We see Jesus of Nazareth in this pretty awesome Garden of Olives, talking to some turd in a hood who I think's the devil. The garden must be pretty rad, the devil's in it. He kills the snake that the devil was just trying to give to him because he's rude as fuck. And then Judas comes up to Jesus and a few of his apostles and fucking kisses Jesus on the cheek. Apparently this is a sign of the Romans, and they arrest him and take this Jesus fellow away. The Jewish leaders rough Jesus up before taking him away too. The regular peasants want some action, and they fuck up Jesus' school. Judas feels bad for betraying Jesus and tries to give the Jewish leaders their money back so they can let Jesus free. They don't accept this offer, and this fucks with Judas to the point where he fucking hangs himself above his goat. Jesus gets taken in front of Caesar for sentencing. One of the Jewish leaders yells out crucifixion. But Caesar thinks that's a bit too much for his crimes of violating the Sabbath and saying that he's the son of David. He claims to be the Messiah. Blasphemy! Caesar takes Jesus to the back of the room and asks him if he really is the Son of God. Caesar brings Jesus back in front of everyone, and he says he doesn't think that death is the proper penalty for his crime, and the people are not happy about this. Caesar sends him to King Herod to judge him, and off he goes. Since Jesus won't do any parlor tricks for King Herod, the king says he's just crazy. I guess Caesar didn't see a way for his kingdom to not get bloody without sentencing this man. But that's the people vote, if they let this mass murderer free, or if they let Jesus free. They let the mass murderer free, so they can fuck up Jesus. Everybody here wants Jesus to be crucified, and I do too. Caesar sentences him to be tortured and fucked up a lot, but not to let him die. At first they begin whacking him with a stick. Seems like it would hurt, but torture? I don't think so. Then the Romans take it one step forward and bring out the cat of nine tails. The cat of nine tails is a whip that has 9 pieces of leather or rope attached to it. And attached to the end of those have some sort of object, you know, maybe some metal or something, or some little spike, to cause as much damage to your skin as possible. After a good few solid minutes of whipping the shit out of Jesus, Caesar decides that he's had enough, and a few guys drag him away, dragging his cut up body over stone, rocks, and bullshit. It's fucking brutal. This is where they put the iconic crown of thorns onto him, and then fucking pushes him with a stick. Caesar brings his bloody and beaten Jesus to the people and let them decide his fate, as I'm sure you can guess what they decided. It's fucking crucifying time, guys! The Caesar washes his hands of this sin and puts it onto the Jewish leaders. Jesus is forced to carry this cross as he gets pushed and whipped along the path. Eventually, his body gives out, and they force some random turd to carry the cross for Jesus. The dude isn't happy about carrying this big-ass cross, and I wouldn't be either. Jesus would have been dead by now and out of his misery if he could just stop fucking falling. Eventually, Jesus and his cross make it to the top of the hill, where people have been foraging and cleaning up some spike. Jesus crawls over to the cross to make everyone's job easier. They begin to tie his body to the cross before they start pounding stakes into his palms and feet. Jesus yells out for his father the whole time, but his mother is the one over here watching all this shit. They fucking flip the crossover just to let Jesus dangle there while they secure the stakes in. They erect the Jesus wearing crucifix and it holds him pretty well, even when it jolts into its holding spot. There's a few other guys hanging from crosses as well. They're not as bloodied up, so whatever. Except for the crow flies down and starts pecking one of this dude's face. That's pretty awesome. Jesus keeps talking to his followers as the leaders talk shit to Jesus. Mary comes up and kisses her son's bloody feet. No wonder people died early back then. They gave Jesus a sip of vinegar from a sponge, which was apparently a favorite drink of the Roman soldiers. No wonder their fucking empire fell to the ground. Jesus looks up into the sky as he says his final words. The ground starts shaking moments after Jesus dies, and for a moment, all hell breaks loose. They bash the legs of the other two guys before running over to Jesus. A soldier gets tossed a spear and jams it in the ribs of Jesus just to make sure he's dead, and so he can get showered in his blood. The spear has had some importance in modern day history as well. It's been said it's what gave Hitler his powers until the United States came and took it. We had it for some time, but has since been lost. And if you lose it, you pretty much die. If you'd like to know more about the Spear of Destiny, check out the last podcast and the last episode about it. I'll link it here in the description. His mother gets him down on the cross and puts his body into this fucking cave. And there you have it, everyone. I'd like to thank Mel Gibson for spending roughly $30 million to restore and remaster this amazing footage he found. Speculation says that he found all this footage when in a drunken stupor in Jerusalem. Without that, we may never have found this home footage of the last 24 hours of this guy's life. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode of Terror Reels. Stay watching this channel as I continue the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.